Support for Arts Weekly is provided by PBS 39, the Our Foundation, Martin Tierney, and the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne.
Union City Chamber of Commerce presents the Union City Arts Festival October 10th, 11th, and 12th in Union City, Indiana. Experience culinary, visual, music, and performing arts. More at unioncityartsfestival.org.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is produced in cooperation with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design.
Welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. On today's show, we'll hear about some wonderful theater going on around town from two local stages. In the second half of the show, Jeff Kazaza and Darby Mullen-LeClaire from the IPFW Department of Theater production of The Glass Menagerie will be here. But first, my friend and collaborator, Ms. Leslie Hormann, will give us the scoop on what's happening in their upcoming production of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Leslie, welcome back to Arts Weekly.
Always a pleasure, John.
Always great to have you on the show.
Good symmetry.
Good symmetry.
Yeah.
We've worked before.
I love that.
I know. Between you and Gloria Minnick, I think I should have had like a co-speaker, co-host of Arts
Kathy
Weekly.
Lee.
Kathy Lee,
sure.
John O'Connell, that's right. Anyway, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
You've got a lot happening this year in the Fort Wayne Youth Theater.
Yes, we're celebrating our 80th anniversary season.
Oh, that's terrific.
Started in 1934, 80 years. It makes us the fifth oldest continually running youth theater in the nation.
Right, and you've kind of gotten very large in the last 4 or 5 years.
We really
You took
have.
over the helm when?
In 2010.
2010.
Yes.
And you are the, what's your title?
Executive and Artistic Director, yes.
of Fort Wayne Youth Theater, right. And you've done some big productions. We did, you know, Oliver, which
Greatest show on earth.
Greatest production ever happened
Ever.
with 700 children dancing their little hearts out. That's right.
The hearts of millions.
Right, but because you've done some big shows like that, you have increased your profile.
We definitely
which means that you're, so you do classes as well. Tell us a little bit about what the youth theater does for the community.
Sure, youth theater reaches close to 15,000 people annually through our 4 main stage productions this season. Our classes in 13 different classes, 6 different levels of theater, dance, voice, stagecraft, comedy, radio, and we also do extensive community outreach, working with a lot of different youth organizations, bringing theater to everyone regardless of socioeconomic level.
Yeah, and you have a pretty strong connection to the school districts. Is that
Yes,
correct?
we do.
I mean,
Yes, we
you've
do.
got your some in there. You're working in that realm too. How does that work?
Well, we have specially priced school shows that are open to all of the surrounding area in addition to our 4 main school districts. But they come in, we send out study guides, curriculum packets. Everything we do is literature-based and connects with the school system's language arts, academic standards, and their curriculum.
That was news to me when I started getting involved in youth theater several years ago, that your sort of mission is to be educationally based first and foremost.
You bet.
So the literature and the stuff that you perform comes from that. I didn't really realize that until we started working together.
Theater is another way to
Has
teach
that always
reading.
been is that a new mission?
I think it's probably more of a proclaimed mission. I think it's always been the mission, but I don't know that they were always very vociferous about making sure everyone knows about it.
Right.
But it's definitely, we are a teaching tool. We're another method of teaching language arts and reading, and history and multicultural appreciation.
And it's a guiding light, if
It
you will.
is.
It's a guiding light for your mission, I would imagine, then to
Most
to
definitely.
have that. Right. So your first show of the season?
Kicking off the season, a big classic good versus evil tale, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, wildly popular through movies, TV. It's a series of 7 books in the Chronicles of Narnia, translated in 41 different languages, over 100 million books continually being sold. It's just an incredible story.
Right, right. And so this is the play version. This is the theater version of it.
Yes, the adaptation of C.S.
And again,
Lewis.
you know, Leslie has 7,000 children on the stage. I got to spend some time with them. How big is this cast?
This cast is 49 kids.
Oh, my Lord.
But we had 187 kids audition.
187?
Yes.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about.
It's big.
Your numbers have just gone up
They really have.
astronomically in
Yeah,
the last 4
yeah,
or 5 years.
yeah.
To have 187 people audition is
Yes.
congratulations.
It's great.
Because that really means your mission is being successful.
We have a lot of exposure, and people really want to be a part of it. They want to put the U in youth theater, and
Right.
they just want to be a part of the fun, and why not?
Right.
But yeah, 187 kids. It's just, you know, you don't want to break their little hearts.
Oh, I know.
I've been
I
turned
know.
down on so many auditions growing up, so I know what that
know,
feels like.
I know.
And so out of 187, I mean, you cast 49 kids.
Right.
Still a lot of kids that don't get cast.
Still a lot of kids don't get cast.
Yeah.
But they can be involved in other ways in youth
You
theater.
bet.
They can take class. They can work backstage.
Sure.
They come to the parties that you have, etc.
Definitely. And when they audition, they get a free ticket to come see the show. So.
Right. There's adults in this. You have community members usually.
Yes, I'm very excited. We have 3 adults in the show, and they're very recognized local theater icons. Harvey Cox.
Oh, Harvey, who's been with youth theater for many, many years.
Yes, I think he just started his 36th season teaching
Wow.
with youth theater, and he plays our professor. And that's a great role for him, and the kids love, you know, being able to say, oh, they're on stage with a Broadway actor.
That's right.
Also Jim Clouser, he's our Father Christmas.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim's been in a couple of my shows. I really like working with
A theater gem.
Absolutely.
And then Aslan is played by Ennis Moore. Or Ennis Brown, rather. I always say Ennis Moore. Ennis Brown.
Right.
And he is a very popular face on the Civic and First Pres.
Right. He's done a lot
and
around town.
Does a great job as the, you know, the lion,
Right.
our hero.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
And so we have a cast,
then
though, from
49.
8 to 89.
Yeah.
We have a cast that goes from age 8 to 89.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great. And we won't say who the 89-year-old is.
I think they can figure that out.
And then there's 49 youth, if you will,
Yes.
kids, which range in
Yes.
what age?
8 to 18. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and they're doing everything. You've worked with us.
I have. You invited me in.
Yes.
I felt so honored to be asked back.
Well, you know, huge parts of the story is the big battle scene, the
Right.
slaying of Aslan and the battle for Narnia. And
fight.
one of my favorite things to do is to stage dance adaptations of big battle scenes or a big, you know, the slaying of Aslan. First of all, it makes it less intense, less violent for kids in the audience. Second of all, it involves a lot of kids. You can get a lot of kids on
they're
stage.
showing images of me on the screen now, teaching 40
Combat.
people how to do some
You
combat
were
and
amazing.
dance. It was fun, wasn't
They
it?
loved it.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And you know what? It's actually easier to teach combat in a musical interlude
Right.
than it is to perhaps just to teach.
Yes.
So, you know, we went pretty fast, didn't we?
Had a
we
great
did that thing in
flow.
like an hour and a half.
Yes,
And
yeah.
boom, we had that combat.
And working
because they're
with
all doing the same thing.
That's right.
45 of them.
Yeah, 23 pairs of kids you worked with,
Yeah.
and that's a load of kids, and they just were so compelled by your presence and what you had to teach them about combat.
Yeah, they were interested in you. Run them. You are a taskmaster. I love that.
They'll
yeah.
run all over if you don't.
Yeah. And this is being performed where?
This is performed on the big stage of the Arts United Center.
Oh, great.
Yes,
On
and
Main Street.
right on Main Street between Fryman Square and the Museum of Art, and it's just a great show, a big show, kicking off our 80th season.
Dates and times.
Dates and times, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of October, and our school shows are the 6th of October. And on Saturday, the 11 o'clock show, after the 11 o'clock show, we're having a big 80th birthday party bash, big birthday bash, and that's up in the gallery. That's free of charge. You can come up and enjoy birthday cake and pop-up performances from 8 decades of youth theater.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How do we get tickets?
You can get tickets from the Arts Tix box office, 422-4226. You can also go online, artstix.org, and just a great show to bring the entire family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, they read these books in school, and they read them because they're such great books.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it hasn't been that far from the movie that a lot of people are familiar with the movie.
All right, what's up for the rest of the season?
We're very excited for our 80th season. We're going to be doing Steadfast Tin Soldier in the Black Box. That's going to be our Christmas show. That was the first show U Theater did in 1934.
Oh, wow.
So that's exciting.
Yeah,
and then we're premiering The Kid from Kokomo, the Ryan White story. Local playwright Gregory Stieber has written a wonderful treatment of that story, and that's also going to be at the Black Box. We're partnering with the AIDS Task Force, and it's such an important story because when we are celebrating our milestone, it will have been 25 years since the death of Ryan White.
That long?
And he,
that
there's such an emphasis on him because he is a child who made a difference. And, you know, so we're really, really emphasizing, you know, really a child of consciousness.
Right. I like that collaboration you're doing with the Northeast Indiana AIDS Task Force.
It's outstanding.
Their outreach is incredible, and it'll be good for their community to participate with the youth theater. And this is an original script.
It is an original script, and it's so meaningful because we don't realize, and I work with children, but there's a whole generation that doesn't realize that AIDS was such a death sentence.
Devastation.
And a dividing of the nation, politics-wise.
Right.
So this is very educational, and it's part of our mission to really help, you know, use this story to teach empathy, you know, acceptance.
Is that cast?
That is not cast.
Not
Auditions
cast.
for that will be in January.
Okay, and auditions are open to everybody.
You
That's
can audition,
important
yes. You don't have to take classes. You can
Right.
be any age. We take
Right.
all age, normally 7 years and older.
Right.
But it's such a great experience to audition. It's a great, you know, even if you don't make the play, it's an educational experience to go through that process.
After that?
And then we're finishing with our second annual Fairy Tale Fest. This is when we collaborate with the Dance Collective, the Museum of Art, and the ballet, and we offer 4 shows for one low price. It's all centered in the Arts United campus downtown, and they go to different theaters. You can walk, you know, it's right across the street. So 4 different venues in amidst the campus, which is ever growing.
When is that?
And that is in May.
Okay.
Yes,
so
where the weather is nice.
The end of your season is
That is
that
the end of our
collaboration
season.
with those other organizations.
Second annual Fairy Tale Fest.
I was
yes.
going to say, I feel like last year was the first time we had
It
you on
was.
the show to talk
Yes.
about that, and
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
some of your collaborators. It was successful then.
It was successful, and I think people really enjoyed, I know our theater audiences that normally come to youth theater, they enjoyed the opportunity to see the Dance Collective and what they do with youth.
Yeah.
Also, you know, the ballet and their wonderful fairy tale series.
Right.
But, you know, with using the common theme of fairy tales and folk tales, there's so many different performance things you can do with that.
Well, I will see you for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
You're going to be there on Saturday.
I'm going to be there on Saturday.
And you're going to
be
perform.
at the birthday party.
You're going to perform at the birthday party.
I don't know if what you've asked me to do is actually performance, but I will make it performance.
You're
It
gonna
will
be
be performance
fabulous.
art from John O'Connell.
Yes.
During the birthday party.
Yes.
I promise.
Can I direct you? Just give you a
Please,
couple of notes?
always give me direction. Leslie, it's always great to have you in Arts Weekly.
Always a great time, John.
You're doing such great work at the Youth Theater. It's my
Thank you.
pleasure to be able to work with you when I can.
I'm excited for the next time.
All right. Please take this minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area, and I'll be right back with Jeff Kazaza and Darby Mullen-LeClaire of the IPFW Department of Theater. The second show in the IPFW Department of Theater's season is the Tennessee Williams classic, The Glass Menagerie. I'm pleased to welcome my friend, director Jeff Kazaza, and actress Darby Mullen-LeClaire to Arts Weekly to learn more about this drama coming to life beginning October 3rd in the Williams Theater. Welcome to Arts Weekly, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm so honored to have you here. The people in gray were making fun of me. I didn't get the gray note.
Yeah, sorry.
Next time, next time. Anyway, welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm so excited, The Glass Menagerie.
I love this play.
A classic.
Yeah.
I have to say, I've only seen it once on the stage. It was many, many years ago. So I'm really happy that it's been long enough that my slate is clean to see your, I'm sure, wonderful and creative
I've been
production.
waiting 25 years to direct this play.
Have you really?
I have.
Wow. We have those lists, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, directors have those
everywhere. Whenever I move to a new place, they're doing it the year I arrive.
Right, exactly.
And then it's like, am I going to be here long enough to do it again, to get into that mix?
Right, yeah. Darby, welcome to Arts Weekly.
Thank you.
You're a student at IPFW. Tell us a little bit about your background in the theater.
Oh, I started doing theater when I was really young, in elementary school actually. I was in a local production at Franke Park Elementary actually. One of the moms in my class, she'd written it.
Oh.
And it was fairy tale characters in space.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't remember much about what it was actually about, but I assume it was great.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I was in Oklahoma in middle school, but I was really stage fright at that time, and then I got to high school and I was in Beauty and the Beast. I played Babette, and that kind of changed my life in the theatrical sense. I realized, hey, I really like doing this, and as I got closer to graduation, I looked more into what I could do to pursue this as a career.
Right.
And I really love it, and I'm glad I decided
Where
that.
did you go to high school?
I went to Northside High School.
Oh, and they have a stellar theater program.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised you didn't fall in love with theater when you worked in that program.
It's a great stage. I love that
It's
space.
a great stage. It's a really beautiful facility
Mm-hmm.
for a high school. Yeah, it's quite a little secret,
Yeah.
you know, when you go there. Yeah, well. And Jeff, you've been with IPFW how long?
This is my 8th year.
Really?
So I just started.
Just started your 8th year. Yeah. And tell us what you do there.
I'm the head of acting, movement and voice. So I teach a lot of the intermediate and upper level acting classes, the movement class, both voice classes. And then I teach an honors seminar in modern drama and a theatrical composition class where the students have to put everything together. So they have to be actors, writers, directors, designers, all together.
Well, it's a collaborative art form.
It is.
Why not have a course where they have to sort of
actually collaborate.
Actually do everything. Right, exactly. Yeah, that's wonderful. But you direct regularly in the season at IPFW.
At least one show a year.
At least one, yeah. And you're also an actor.
I am.
I know. Let's talk a little bit. I mean, I want to talk about the play, and we'll get to the play, but I want to talk about your current activity as an actor. It's really quite amazing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've just got back from Italy, where I was performing in Too Much in the Sun, which was a composition class. I mean, we kind of created it with the artist and an international cast, and I was playing Apollo, the sun god, dealing with my son Phaeton, who wants to drive my car.
Really?
Yeah, he wants to drive the chariot, and I'm like, not a good idea.
Yeah.
But I, as silly, made a promise and made it on the made my oath on the sticks, and so he had to if he wanted to.
Right.
Give him whatever he wants, and so then he dies horribly.
But this is a return trip to Italy, because you have been involved with this company now. I would say this is your 3rd or 4th.
This was my 4th year.
Fourth year going to Italy in the summertime, and really doing some incredible work with an international cast. Tell us a little bit about that activity and that cast.
Well, it's really interesting because it's an Italian director, and he puts together this group of people. We do some training in the morning with the Linkletter voice method and some physical theater methods as well. And then in the afternoons and evenings we're rehearsing, and we put this play on in a number of different places. It depends. We always do it in a Greek amphitheater with the sea as the background. So I mean, that's just awesome to be able to.
Absolutely.
I get to act here.
Sorry,
really?
I forgot my line. I'm looking for the ships that are going to
be going by.
Yeah, exactly.
But we also do some site-specific versions of either the play that we're doing, or we do a variations of plays and do that. And everybody is speaking their language. So my first year there, I was doing a production or a section of Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was Oberon. My Titania was Swiss German, and my Puck was Italian. And so we're having this scene. I'm speaking English, she's speaking Swiss German, and he's speaking Italian.
Wow.
Or I'm
And it's
speaking English.
outside.
Did I say Italian? I'm speaking, yeah. And it's outside.
It's outside. So everyone's drinking, I hope. Drinking some vino in order to find out what's going on in this play.
One of the sites was a restaurant, and they have 7 o'clock aperitivo, and so we were the entertainment for that on one. It was a shortened version of it for that 45 minutes.
And it sounds like great fun.
It is.
Great fun. Well, anyway, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
To be asked back to that sort of international activity is prestigious for you and prestigious for us at IPFW to have you on our faculty. So
thank you.
Congratulations on that. And as you work towards your Linkletter designation, which is part of that whole process, congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Glass Menagerie. Wow, big role.
Yes.
You're playing Amanda.
Yes, I am, and it's an honor to be playing a character of such caliber and who's so complex and interesting in so many different ways. And I feel like I've definitely gotten lucky to be able to step into this role and try my best.
Right. Well, I'm sure you're doing a great job. Plus, you know, you're under one of the best directors. You know, really understands.
I love working with Jeff.
Right, really understands the nuance of a drama and how to get to the heart of what's happening in a character. So,
yeah, definitely.
Why The Glass Menagerie? I mean, you've said it's your favorite play, and it's one of your. I understand that, but it's a challenge for college kids.
It is. I mean, I think that what it has to say, I think, is universal anyway. And there's so many things. We all know what it's like to be in an economy like this one, where everyone's not doing so well, and that desire to move beyond that, to escape from it in what's happening. So all of these characters, all of them have a fantasy life, an active fantasy life, because the life that they're living right now is not that exciting.
Right.
And so they all try to figure out a way to get out of this reality into a better one. And I think that's a universal statement. But beyond that, the family relationships are stunning. I mean, the fact that this mother has done everything that she can to keep her children alive for 16 years after her husband left her in a time when that was not acceptable.
Right.
I mean, she really had to work against all odds to just keep the family alive. So it shows her love for her family, which I think is something that's missing from a lot of productions. That we think of Amanda as just this evil, overbearing mother.
Right.
And there's so many other nuances to that character, but all of them, I mean, I think it has something to say to all of them.
What are the challenges for you other than the obvious? You're not a mother of a teenage child, so
I've never been.
that's never been.
But I have played older quite a bit at IPFW, so I think that sort of helped shape my perspective of the character a little bit. But obviously just finding all of those things that I've never really experienced as a person and helping color the character with those events in her life and finding the meaning behind everything. And Tennessee Williams just writes such beautiful images and dialogue, and it's just really picking that apart and finding what's really important to each of these people and how that relates to her relationship with Tom or her relationship with Laura. And I think that's definitely been challenging but nice to be able to dive that deep into a text. Yeah,
I'm glad you talk about dealing with the dialogue and whatnot, because Williams is the first lyrical realist, if you will, that we call him a lyrical realist writer, realism, because the language is fraught with imagery and metaphor that also conveys idea and meaning and plot. So it's really complex. Really, so you must have done a lot of script work, Jeff.
We did a lot of did a lot of discussion. What is happening in this scene? What are these characters? But then we tried to also then explore it up on our feet as well, to say, okay, this is what we're doing. Now, how do we actually do it as we go through? And I think it's also interesting with Darby is that so often this role is played by a woman in her late 50s or early 60s. And that's about maybe 20 years too old, because I mean, everyone thinks of Amanda as this older woman, and she's really in the prime of her life. She's at the most 45 and probably like 42, 43, because her oldest child is 24 years old. So, you know, you add about 19 to that from when people were getting married and having kids, and she's not that old. So Darby's a little bit younger, but many of those women are a little bit older, and I think that the tragedy of Amanda is that she is still in the prime of her life when all of this happens. She's not at the end of her life, and so having a younger actress explore that and then try to find the age, but still have that youth and that ability to flirt.
Right, and that also that desire.
And that desire.
To have something other than what she has been given so far.
Absolutely.
Now, Jeff Kazaza, historically, you know, can't do a play the way it's written exactly. It's just not,
Don't know
he can't be confined by the words on the page or the direction. So what are we doing with the Glass Menagerie that is the Kazaza touch, if I might ask?
I don't know if it's exactly the Kazaza touch, but looking at the play, it seemed to me that the play is actually divided the character of Tom. There's Tom, the narrator, who comes out and says, I'm not only the narrator of the play, but I'm also a character in it. And I thought, well, what would happen if we actually did that? So we have someone who's playing Tom in the present and someone who's playing Tom in the past. So he's remembering, because the whole play is actually a play within a play. It's Tom's memory.
And usually that's the same actor.
And it's usually the same actor, oftentimes the same actor. But I thought, well, what would happen if he got to watch himself? Why is this guy coming back? And so it's as much Tom in the present story as it is Tom in the past. Tom in the past has certain goals, Tom in the present has certain goals, and he's coming hopefully to get these memories to stop haunting him. And I think a clear way to follow that is to actually see him trying to do that. So one actor is playing Tom with all of the beautiful monologues that he has, and then the young Tom, or Tom in the past, has some beautiful monologues as well. And it's really interesting to then see what happens. And by having two actors, it allows you to see two sides of Tom. So she can be talking directly to Tom in the present while she's really talking to Tom in the past. So both actors get a chance to respond, and I think it adds something that I think is in the play, but this I think clarifies it, and it allows, I think, to find some really emotional moments that might not always be there.
So just so you know, Darby, the Kazaza touch has a lot of reasoning behind it.
Yes.
It's not just arbitrary, which is really great about him as a director.
Yes.
Let's get the specifics out there before we're done. What are the dates?
It opens on the 3rd. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the first week, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the second week.
And people can get tickets how?
Through the Larson Ticket Office.
Okay. That's 4816-555. 4816-555. Just got that.
As my mind goes blank for a moment.
Good luck with your production. Good luck with an amazing role. I know you'll be great.
Thank
and
you.
I can't wait to see it at opening night. Thank you for joining me on Arts Weekly.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Today is our final episode of Arts Weekly, so I'd like to thank you for tuning in over the last 5 seasons to learn more about the people and organizations behind the vast array of art, dance, theater, and music events in our region. We're blessed to live in an area so rich in the arts. The IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts has been proud to produce Arts Weekly, and we appreciate all the collaboration and support we've received from the great team here at PBS 39, our viewers, and all the dedicated people who represent our amazing local arts organizations. Once again, thank you for watching Arts Weekly.
Support for Arts Weekly is provided by PBS 39, the Hour Foundation, Martin Tierney, and the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne.
Union City Chamber of Commerce presents the Union City Arts Festival October 10th, 11th, and 12th in Union City, Indiana. Experience culinary, visual, music, and performing arts. More at unioncityartsfestival.org.